Okay, hi everybody. It's Donna from Sunshine LeClaire. I had promised you guys after you've seen my 2020 scarf from Ice Yarns, shawl scarf, that I would show you the stitch I used. Everybody loved it so much. I had so many wonderful compliments. Thank you so much. What I'm going to do is I just have some scrap yarn here, and I'm just going to show you the stitch because all you need to do is just make it as long as you want, or wide as you want, as long as you want, and just use this basic stitch pattern. It's a 1-row repeat, and it looks very, very different with different yarns. Now I had used the Ice Yarn denim dark purple on my 2020 item. And this one here is Karen Simply Soft. This one here, you probably recognize it. But like I say, any one you use will make the stitch look totally different. The one I used this here is a 4, medium 4 weight. The one I used was, I think it was a 1, but it was more like a 2, but I think it was labeled 1. And it was a little bit had a little bit of a halo, and it was much thinner than this. But this, I just use this because you'll be able to see better what I'm doing. Now, as far as what I know, it's called this offset granny stitch, and excuse the band-aid, sorry about that. Offset granny, and I love it. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. This is just particularly how I like to do it. So what we'll start off with first of all, this is a 4 weight. Sorry, this is my very first tutorial, and I just showing you how to do it. So I kind of got a makeshift setup here, so hopefully you can see okay. And I'm using a 6mm hook. Oops, sorry, you're out of camera there. 6mm hook. So let's just get going. So first of all, it's a repeat of 6 plus 3. So what I do when I have those kind of repeats, I just count to 6 until it's the length that I want. So, sorry, I'm not even paying attention. Okay, so first what you're going to do is you're going to put a slip stitch on. So you do your slip stitch however you like to do your slip stitch. You're not going to do the first row too tight of chains. And the first row is always a bit cumbersome because you don't have much to hold on to. But once you get to the second row, it's a lot easier. And this is a very easy stitch. It's just a little, strange how your first row goes in the chains because it's hard to hang on to. Okay, so we're going to start. I'm going to just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, we're not doing these too tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 3 repeats here. I think I'll do just one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, it's a little awkward here. I'm not used to crocheting sitting up like this. So there's our repeat of 6s. And then after you do however wide you want to make it, then you're going to add 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to double crochet in the 6th chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to double crochet into that 6th chain. And there we have our double crochet. Then we're going to do 3 more so that we have 4 double crochets in there. So there's 2, and there's 3, and there's 4, If it's going too fast, you can slow it down, I'm sure. So there's four double crochets. Then you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to put one more double crochet into the same stitch. So you have 4 double crochets. Can you? Oh, sorry if you're trying to stay on camera. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, 2 chains, so which makes the chain space, and 1 more double crochet in the same stitch. So now again, you're going to skip 5, and in the 6th one, you're going to repeat that same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to double crochet into there. Trying to see if I'm focused and watch what I'm doing. So it's kind of awkward for me. So that's 1, oops, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 there. Now we're going to do chain 2 again and another double crochet. And so you're going to do that however many chains you have. That's what you're going to do till you get to the end. You're going to do your 4 double crochets, chain 2, 1 double crochet in the same stitch. And then you're going to count, you're going to skip 5, and in the 6th one you're going to do the same thing. 4 double crochets, chain 2, 1 double crochet. Then you're going to skip 5, and again you're going to do 4 double crochets, chain 2, 1 double crochet. So I'll meet up with you when I get to the end of this little chain sample. Okay, so here I've just came to the end. Just gonna get my hook back in here. So once you get towards the end, you should end up that you have 3 chains left after you go as far as you can with the offset granny stitches. So you have 3 left, and you're going to double crochet in the very last one. Whoops. I just always go through 1 loop. Okay, so oops, hopefully you're in sight here. Okay, so there, the last double crochet into the last stitch. So there you have your first row. And that's the toughest row. It's really awkward with the first row. So now this is what is very important as far as mine go, my doing this stitch goes. To rise up to your next row, I do it so that it's more solid and it doesn't look like it has holes in it. And this is what I do. And it'll keep it nice, even, and super straight up the edge, and it won't curl or anything. So you chain 1. You turn your work. I always turn my work towards me. And then in that first hole of the chain, which is right there, you're going to double crochet into that. The chain 1 counts for nothing. It's just to get you up to the next row. Now you have that, which is your chain 1, and you've double crocheted back into that exact same stitch. Then each chain space across in each granny shell stitch, you're going to do the same as the bottom row. You're going to double crochet 4, chain 2, double crochet 1. So we're going to start that. Now we're going to do our 4 double crochets. Oh, you can hear the train. Okay, 3, 4, do 1 more. Then we're going to chain 2, and then 1 more double crochet. And there you have your next offset granny. Now you're going to look way over to your next chain 2 space on the next stitch. On your next offset granny. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to double crochet 4, 2, I'm probably all over the place here with my hands. 3, I keep forgetting to look up at the camera. Okay, so there's 4. Now you're going to chain 2 and put your last double crochet in that same stitch. So there you have your next 2. So now it gets really easy because all you gotta think about is your chain 2 spaces, and you're going to go across to the chain 2 spaces, and you're just going to repeat the same thing over. So we're going to go to the next one, and we're going to double crochet 4, 2, 3, 4, then you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to put the last double crochet in that stitch, and then we're going to do it again, and you're going to double crochet 4, so that's 2, 3, I need some more yarn here. Let's get some more yarn. Oh. Okay. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. So we need our 4th double crochet, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet. So now we've come to the end of our sample, and again, you can make yours as long or as wide as you want. And here's our 1, 2, 3, 4 from the second part of the granny. And then we have this is our very first beginning where we added our chain. So we're not going to have that same, what we're going to go into next time as that one up that we did. So what you do is you look for your 4 stitches, and the top chain, not on your double crochet, is where you're going to put your last double crochet of the row into. So we have it like this. Now we're going to do our special going up stitch. We're going to do our chain 1, turn towards you, and then you're going to do a double crochet in that very first stitch. So here's our double crochet. Hopefully you're understanding this. Sorry, I've never done a tutorial like this before. Okay, so there you have your first 2 rows, and you're just going to keep repeating this all the way. You're going to do your chain 1, do your double crochet in the very first stitch, which is going to make it a nice edge. Then you're going to put the same repeat offset granny. So you're going to put 4 double crochets, 2, 3, 4, chain 2, and then 1 more double crochet. And now just carry on across, and I'll meet you up at the end. Okay, so I've got to the end, and here's what we're seeing so far. It's very, very pretty, and it looks really different on this yarn. I chose this yarn instead of the other one because I thought it would be a little easier to see it. And kudos to you that do these kind of tutorials, because it's really awkward to try and crochet under the camera and sitting like this. Okay, so we're at the end. Now, this is that special up stitch that we did. and I'll show you how to easily find where to go into. We did the last one in our chain 2, so we have 4 double crochets here. That's the top of our 4th double crochet right there. And usually on this one up stitch, the last one up is going to be a little bit slanted. So you're going to see your 1, 2, 3, 4, and your one up stitch is right there at the end. And you're going to, oops, I grabbed, sorry. Oopsie. So you're going to do a double crochet in your jeepers. You're going to do a double crochet the very end, which leaves a really nice line. Let's see here if I can show you. Put it down. It just brings it up nice and square. Let's see your stitch here. See? Brings it up really nice, and there's not a whole bunch of gaps in it. And this one too will go up nice. So we'll do that one more time across. And I made another swatch of a different yarn so you can see how big of a difference the type of yarn you use makes with this stitch. So we're going to do this again, the special up stitch. So it's chain 1, and you turn towards yourself, and you can see the stitch right there. Hopefully you can see that right there. So you're going to do your double crochet into that stitch, the very, very first stitch. Oops. There we go. And then in your chain 2, you're going to repeat this, the regular stitch we're doing, this, the offset granny. So we're going to double crochet 4, 3, 4, and then we're going to chain 2 and double crochet once more, and then we're going to do that across again till we get to the end. Okay, so I'm at the end again, and we're going to do our last double crochet, and we're going to find it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is our last stitch that we were going up from. And see how nice and straight it is? Hopefully you can see that in the camera. Very nice and straight. I love doing that. I always do that at the end. If you're using a single crochet, then you would just do your single crochet, turn around and do the single crochet back into it. But we're doing a double, so I single crocheted, turn it, and you can see the stitch to go into right there. So we're going to double crochet in there and go up. It's a foolproof way to go up to the next row. And if you, like I said, if you're doing single crochets in the next row, you would just single crochet back into that. If you're doing triple, you would triple crochet back into that. That one single crochet is just to get you up and around. Okay, so now we're going to go again across this row, doing the same thing. In each chain 2 space, we're going to do the 4 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. And I'll meet you when I'm going to do 2 more rows so that it's the same as the sample swatch I have of a different yarn. So I'll meet you back as soon as I've done 2 more rows. Okay, so I'm back, and I have the 2 swatches done. Now this is the swatch that we just were working on with the Caron Simply Soft. And the offset granny is a great stitch. It's a nice lacy stitch, and it can be even a more dense stitch like this with the Caron Simply Soft. Now I used a 6mm. So if you, with the medium weight number 4 worsted, if you would use a bigger hook with this, you'd have a much lacier look. And so it's a wonderful, pretty stitch. And it's very, very simple, but look how intricate it looks. It looks very intricate and lacy. And this one I did with the Shawl in a Ball. So now this is, and I still use the 6mm. The Shawl in a Ball is a lot thinner than the Caron Simply Soft, as you can see, even though I think they call Shawl in a Ball a 4, but it's a lot thinner if you can see the difference. But this looks more lacy. Definitely looks pretty. And you know what? I should have grabbed a lot of the Shawl in a Balls are sparkly, so I bet you that would have looked really pretty with this stitch. But so this is the stitch I used for my 2020 challenge project, and it came out beautiful. And you can use this for anything, for any kind of garment, sweater, well, maybe not a hat, but you know, a cowl, a shawl, a wrap, what do you call that? Like a tunic, or sweater, nice lacy sweater. But you just remember the kind of yarn you use makes the stitch look so different. With a lighter, this is a acrylic cotton blend, so it's soft, but it's not super soft. But you know, it would be a nice summer type anything. This is one of my favorite stitches, and I'm working on something else with it now too. But it works up really quickly, and when I made my 2020 challenge, I think I used a 1 or 2 weight yarn. So usually that would take forever, but it went really nicely, and it's just a real beautiful stitch. I love it. So hopefully that was understandable for you. It's my first time doing a tutorial like this, so after I watch the video, I guess I'll see where I could improve. But anyway, so with this, you whatever you decide to make, you just do your repeat of 6 plus 3. Make it as wide as you want and then as long as you want. And you'll see that one edge, wherever you end up, is going to be a nice scallop type edge. And your beginning edge is going to be a straight edge. So you can always add a scallop at the other end, depending on what you're doing. I didn't. I just left mine the way it was. Anyway, so I'm going to wrap it up here, and hopefully, you know, all of those of you who really wanted me to share this stitch with, hopefully you can use it for something and at least give it a try. And if you have a thin yarn, it's great to work on, and it'll work up faster than any other stitch you do. So anyways, there you go. And thanks so much for watching, and hopefully this is what you were looking for. Have a great day. Bye.